Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, well, you can see that I'm not at my office. We had a major ice storm here in Wisconsin, in my area, and the roads were just too bad to try to drive to work. It's not good here right now. Electricity has went out 4 different times, but I do have friends that are in another part of the city. They've lost their electric and it's been out for hours. About 15,000 people in our area. It's been out. I mean, it's like stuff. The ice is just very thick. So, I mean, I guess that's what we go through with the way this weather is. But in today's video, what I want to talk about is birth certificates. There's a lot of, I get a lot of questions. Like, this is one of the questions that I get a lot ever since I had made the video about the 1099A, the 1099 OID. A lot of people send me questions and they'll say, well, Steve, on my birth certificate, on the back, it has these numbers. That's a secret bank account. Or they'll say, all of the caps, why is it in all caps on my birth certificate? They'll have all of these questions for me, and some of the time I'm like, why are you asking me? But then I know why they're asking, because I'll go out there and I'll do the research on this stuff. That's basically what I will do. So what I've done here is I've done some research, and I want to just read off what I found in my research about the history of birth certificates. And I think that you'll find this very useful. And I'm also going to interject some information that I believe was omitted from the history of birth certificates, and we'll get to that part as I go through. So it says here, the use of birth certificates to record the birth of a child is a relatively recent development in human history. Prior to the 19th century, most births were not formally registered, and even if they were, there was no standardized method for recording information. The first modern birth certificate was created in 1853 in the United Kingdom under the guidance of William Farr, a physician and statistician who believed that accurate birth registration was essential for tracking public health and demographic trends. The birth certificate included information such as the child's name, sex, date, place of birth, and the names of the parents. Other countries soon followed suit, with many adopting similar birth registration systems. In the latter half of the 19th century, in the United States, birth registration laws were passed at the state level beginning in the late 1900s and the early 20th century, although it wasn't until the mid 20th century that birth certificates became standard across the country. Today's birth certificates are used not only for tracking public health and demographic data, but also for a variety of legal and administrative purposes, such as obtaining a passport, enrolling for school, and proving eligibility for government benefits. The information contained in the birth certificate has also become more detailed, often including the child's weight, the length, and the parents' occupations and place of birth. When they talk about that loan form that everybody was trying to get uh, President Obama to get out, they wanted his birth certificate. They said, here's the birth certificate. Then they wanted the loan form birth certificate. Now, one of the things that I did want to interject here is that when I did some research, when it came down to African American slaves, that it was actually registered because it had information about the gender, weight. It was more than just a birth certificate. It had it was a birth certificate, and it also had a certificate that would follow uh, uh, our ancestors as they were, I guess, I don't know, what do you want to say, growing older, because it was a way that they were tracking our ancestors. So it was not only at birth, because they wanted to have who was the person who, quote unquote, owned the human, They wanted to have that information in there, and they would have certain uh, markings on the individual, but they would also have that same marking on the document so they would know which plantation they came from. So there was a system even way before that, but I guess they didn't want to put that into history, put that information in there. So now let's move forward. This is another question that I get a lot. It says, why does my birth certificate have my name in all caps? And I've talked about this with documents, with legal documents. I've talked about this with the way that we keep files at my offices. I've talked about this with the way that we make invoices for my various companies. I've always told my staff to always use all caps, and I'm about to tell you the explanation about all caps. It says that the use of all cap letters on birth certificate and other official documents is a common practice in many countries. This style of writing is called block capitals or block letters and is used for clarity and consistency in official records. It makes the information easier to read and reduces the likelihood of errors and misinterpretations. So that's why it has all caps on the birth certificate. And then it says the use of all caps in also as all caps or uppercase writing is and it is a conventional is it is a conventional that is commonly used in legal documents, government records, and other official forms. The practice has been in use for many years, and it is not specific to birth certificates. It is worth noting that the use of all caps writing on a birth certificate or other official documents does not have any legal significance or implications, which a lot of people say that it does have legal significance and implications. And it is simply a convention for recording information in a standardized format. So people don't get mad at me. That's what it says there. Now, here's the other one. It says here, is a birth certificate a secret bank account? Because people say when you flip it over, it has numbers on there. So let me read what it states about this. It says, no, a birth certificate is not a secret bank account. A birth certificate is an official document that records a person's birth and basic information such as their name, date, birth, place of birth, and name of their parents. It is used for legal administrative purposes, such as obtaining a passport, enrolling in school, what we just talked about, providing eligibility for government benefits. On the other hand, a bank account is a financial account held by a bank or financial institution where money can be deposited, withdrawn, and transferred by the account holder. It is a private and confidential account that requires personal identification and authentication to access. While a birth certificate may be used to establish identity and open a bank account, it is not a bank account itself. They serve different purposes and have different functions. So I know people are going to be commenting. I invite your comments. We're going to keep expanding on this. Like I always say, I'm always open to the conversation. I'm always open to people proving things, but I can tell you right now, from the individuals that I asked to send proof about the birth certificate being a secret bank account, none of them have sent proof. None of them have received funds. I've asked people about the 1099 OID, the 1099A, the Form 56, all of that stuff. No one has sent proof. As a matter of fact, everyone that is has that people that have tried to utilize that have came to us to get them out of trouble because they are either in IRS trouble or they're either in trouble with a financial institution for getting funds and in a fraudulent way. Uh, the next one is um, people who come with a promissory note. I made a video where an individual had claimed that he paid off a vehicle with it. Vehicle ended up being repossessed. I've seen people claim that you can pay off bills with a payment coupon, that the coupon that you get that says payment coupon. Like this is one for one of my uh, one of my uh, buildings, one of my commercial buildings. It says tax installment payment, and it says here that this is a payment coupon. Seen people try to say that they've paid off stuff, bills with a payment coupon. Uh, from all of those people, those are courtesy credits and mistakes by the employees when they're putting putting the payments in. You got to think of it this way: they open up an envelope, take out the payment. Maybe they make a mistake and they think that it was something credited. You sent it without the payment. Those people got lucky. The other people who wrote and said that they did make a payment, they gave them a courtesy credit until accounting found out that they did not make a payment. In my eyes, right now, um, just about all of the people who have been telling people to do this, all they've been doing is telling people to wait, and that day is supposed to happen, that the IRS is flooded. As a matter of fact, the IRS is going to always be flooded because every year go through the same processes with putting forms in for people to get their returns and to pay their taxes. So I don't see that day happening. But I wanted to get this information out to you: birth certificates, what birth certificates, the history of birth certificates, so you can understand them. That birth certificates are not a secret bank account. That the reason why all caps are on your birth certificate is just so it could be something that is easy to read. It's a certain form, so it's a standard, so it's standardized. That's the reason why. And uh, the other thing is that, yeah, why your birth certificate has all caps, and that it's called block capitals or block letters. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know about that. All right, I want to get that information out. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your, the number 3scores.com. Get your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations, cease and desist collection activities letter, and the debt validation letter, just in case you have to have that back and forth. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. Thank you.